Hello and welcome to another YouTube tutorial involving Roblox. So a question I see people ask a lot is, what is Roblox scripting? A lot of people try to get into developing Roblox games, but they don't quite understand what the whole scripting stuff is about. And so this video is going to kind of break down what is Roblox scripting, right? What it is, how you can get started, and then some of the other stuff that goes along with scripting, like what kind of programming language does Roblox use? How do we get into scripting, coding, programming? It's all the same thing. But that's kind of what the theme of this is going to be about. So let's start with the basics. What is Roblox scripting? So programming, coding, and scripting, for the purpose of this video, we're going to use interchangeably. They all refer to kind of the same thing. There's some differences between a programming language and a scripting language, but that's a whole nother topic. So we're just going to kind of stick with the term scripting. But like I said, programming, coding, scripting, you can all use them interchangeably. So scripting is the act of setting up a set of instructions for the game engine, or in this case, it's going to be Roblox Studio, right? Roblox's game engine. A set of instructions for it to do, tasks, if you will, and it's kind of what breathes life into our Roblox game. So let me give an example. Let's say I wanted to build a tycoon game. Well, I'll go into Roblox Studio. I'll make the tycoon, right? The button tycoon. I'll build the little base. I'll put down some buttons, a conveyor belt, some droppers, a cash register, and let's say we add like a laser door. Well, I can hit the play button and everything is just sitting there, right? All of the objects didn't disappear with just the buttons. When I push the buttons, I'm not able to buy anything. The conveyor belt doesn't move. The droppers don't drop cubes. And the laser door doesn't work. Well, the reason this is the case is because I didn't script anything. We just moved parts around and we made models. Now that's cool, but for them to actually function, we need to set the instructions for what the game engine is supposed to do with them. And so writing those instructions is the act of scripting. So how do we get started, actually learning how to do this? Well, basically, there's a couple steps we can take to get started. The first one is learning how to speak to the computer. Because we need to write the instructions, right? Well, we need to write them to the game engine, which is a computer, right? Now, there's kind of an issue here. Computers don't speak English. Neither does the Roblox game engine. So we have to speak their language. The language that they use, there's actually, if you want to learn more about this, I have an article in the description, what coding language does Roblox use? Roblox uses a programming language called Luau. Technically it's a scripting language, but like I said, we'll just use them interchangeably. But it uses a language called Luau. Now, if you've looked into this topic, you'll probably say, well, Seal, it's actually Lua, not Luau. It's a bit of an interesting thing because for the longest time, Roblox did use Lua 5.1. Now, what they ended up doing, though, it was referred to as Roblox Lua. Roblox adapted the programming language, or the scripting language, to kind of fit with Roblox better. So they made some adjustments, they changed a few things. They said, hey, Lua 5.1 is where we want to stick to. We don't want to actually we don't want to go any farther than that with the language. So what they ended up doing is they made their own version of Lua called Luau. So now instead of having to say Roblox Lua, we can just say Luau. That's the scripting language that Roblox uses. So how do we speak Luau? Well, we don't really speak it. We type it, thankfully. Speaking to the computer would be a lot harder. But we have to pretty much take the language and boil it down to commands. Now, this is probably going to sound kind of weird, But let's actually hop into Roblox Studio real quick, and I'll show you guys what that would look like uh, talking to the game engine. So I'm here in Roblox Studio. I'm going to insert a script over here in Server Script Service. We can push the little plus button and it opens this big menu. We're going to find a script. I've got it up here. I'm going to make this a little bigger. That's better. And so, oops. Now we're going to, I'm going to show you guys basically how to speak Luau to the computer. Now the first thing about Luau is everything has to be a command. So for instance, I can't just say, this is a message, right? This isn't a command. You see we're getting errors. We can't just talk. We have to just give tasks or orders to the computer. Each line, you see they're numbered. Now we have 7. Each of these lines needs to be a task for the game engine to follow. So let's give it a task. If you don't have this open here, this little window, this is called the output. You can find it by clicking View and clicking Output over here. But this is our output, and this is where the computer, or the game engine, displays messages. Let's put a message up on here. Now we have to say a command, and so the command to put messages up here on the output is the print command. So you'll type print. See, with Roblox, it gives us this nice little description of what these do. This prints all the provided values to the output, and by values, provided values, right? We've got these little parentheses. These have to go after the word print, and anything inside of this is going to show up here on this little box. So let's print our message. Now again, we can't freeform type, so I can't say this is my first print message. You see it's going to give us an error because it thinks that this is a command. Well, no, we want to just type text or a freeform message. To do that, we need to add quotation marks. So now you see it changes color, and we don't have an error anymore. Because it understands with these quotation marks, this is a grouping of words that aren't meant to be a command. It's actually a single object called a string value, what's inside of these 2 quotation marks. So let's hit run, and there's our message. This is my first print message. Now, with scripting, this is just the very basics. We can go in so many different directions, make all kinds of crazy stuff. Let me show another quick example of actually changing something in our workspace, just briefly, and that'll conclude our video. But let me make a part here. We click this button up here to insert it. And let's change the color of this part. So this part has properties, and we can see them in this properties window here. We can see one of those properties is the color property. And if we adjust this, it adjusts our part's color. So instead of adjusting it through here, let's adjust it in our script. So we're going to position the camera to be looking at our part. Now in our script, we're going to change the part's color from this window. Now to do that, we have to first show the computer what part we're wanting to change, what object we're wanting to change. And to do that, we actually have to show the game engine where the part is at. That's where this Explorer window comes in. This is all of the files in our game. We can see our part here, it's inside of this workspace file. And so to show the game engine where the part's at, we have to start at the top, the Explorer window, so to speak. And to do that, we type the keyword game. We use the period to look inside, and inside of game, we have our workspace file. So we'll do game.workspace. Period opens these files up. We're going to do it again to get to our part down here. Now, our game engine knows that we're talking about this guy right here. Now, there's nothing inside of this part. Like baseplate has this texture. There's nothing inside of it. But if we use the period, we can not only find the children inside of the part, but also the properties. And we have this property here, color. So we're going to type the property now. And if I add an equals sign, that means I want to change what's on the left of this equal sign, which is this color property, and I want to make it the same as what's on the right of this equal sign, which is going to be a new color value. So there's no color value that we can type like black or the numbers here, right? We can't just say 43, 43, 43. We have to create a special value designed just for colors. And to do that, we do another command. It's called color3.new. And we could type in a number here, or we could just click in between these parentheses and select this little color wheel that appears. So let's make this a nice turquoise. You can see it puts in the numbers for us, but this is the ID for this turquoise color. So now when I run, we see our part's color changes. It listens to the command that we have in the script, and it adjusts the color to this part. You could actually see code very similar to this if you play games like Jailbreak is the first one that comes to mind. When you have the automated keycard doors, the little light flashes green if your keycard works. It runs code similar to this. It just goes in, finds the part, and it changes its color to neon green. So that's just scratching the surface of the kind of stuff that we can do with scripting on Roblox. Scripting is super cool. It's a very useful skill. And if you'd like to learn more, I'm actually going to attach 2 articles in the description of this video that can help teach you more cool stuff about scripting. Then those can be found on my website, definitelyNotSeal.com. Well, as always, happy scripting, guys. Thanks for watching.